Hello again, and welcome to Volume 5. Did you watch Volume 4? Good. Let's begin Volume 5 then. Lesson 36. En la lección 20 estudiamos el presente del verbo to be. Ahora, estudiaremos otros de sus tiempos. Verb to be. Past tense. Tiempo pasado del verbo to be. Las formas del tiempo pasado son: I was. Repeat, I was. You were. You were. He, she, it was. He, she, it was. We were. We were. You were. You were. They were. They were. Ejemplos. I was in Puerto Rico last week. I was in Puerto Rico last week. Yesterday, you were not at your office. Yesterday, you were not at your office. Juan was studying until 12 a.m. Juan was studying until 12 a.m. Emilia and I were at the movies last night. Emilia and I were at the movies last night. You were in a meeting when he called. You were in a meeting when he called. Heriberto and Bernarda were my grandparents. Heriberto and Bernarda were my grandparents. Lesson 37. Future tense. Tiempo futuro. To be. Usamos el tiempo futuro para expresar promesas o decisiones. Para formar el tiempo futuro, lo hacemos con el verbo auxiliar, will, y la forma infinitiva del verbo viemos. I will be. I will be. You will be. You will be. He, she, it will be. He, she, it will be. We will be. We will be. You will be. You will be. They will be. They will be. Ejemplos. I will be in my room if you need me. I will be in my room if you need me. Tomorrow, you will be very happy. Tomorrow, you will be very happy. My friend Devon will be competing in the next Olympics. My friend Devon will be competing in the next Olympics. Elias and I will be in the cafe around the corner. Elias and I will be in the cafe around the corner. Mr. President, remember, you will be on TV at 8 o'clock. Mr. President, remember, you will be on TV at 8 o'clock. Crystal, Tiffany, and Christina will be at the ballet tonight. Crystal, Tiffany, and Christina will be at the ballet tonight.
Las palabras siguientes las aprenderás de memoria. Conociéndolas, te será más fácil el entender las lecciones. Cada nueva palabra que aprendes, has de usarlas en conversaciones o cuando escribes. Así también, si las aprendes de memoria, cuando leas algo en inglés, las reconocerás y te será más fácil el poder entender de qué trata lo que estás leyendo. Al principio usarás el español junto a las nuevas palabras que has aprendido en inglés. Eso está bien. Te demuestra que estás entendiendo paso a paso el idioma inglés.
Vocabulary. Vocabulario. Competing. Repeat. Competing. She is competing in the games. She is competing in the games. Olympics. I want to be in the Olympics. I want to be in the Olympics. Olympic Games. Let's watch the Olympic Games tonight. Let's watch the Olympic Games tonight. Corner. Turn left at the corner. Turn left at the corner. Around. It is around the block. It is around the block. Between. It is between Main Street and Hanover Boulevard. It is between Main Street and Hanover Boulevard. Beside. The milk is beside the orange juice. The milk is beside the orange juice. Down. They live down the hill. They live down the hill. Under. I always sleep under my blanket. I always sleep under my blanket. Up. They live up the hill. They live up the hill. Over. I always sleep over my blanket. I always sleep over my blanket. Inside. Inside the house, it is much warmer. Inside the house, it is much warmer. Out. Let's go out for dinner tonight. Let's go out for dinner tonight. Outside. Outside the house, it is very cold. Outside the house, it is very cold. Next. I get off on the next stop. I get off on the next stop. Close. The bread is close to the cheese. The bread is close to the cheese. Near from. You live near from where I work. You live near from where I work. Far. I can see very far. I can see very far. Far from. I parked far from here. I parked far from here. Far away. It comes from a faraway land. It comes from a faraway land.
Lesson 38. Pasemos ahora al simple present tense de los verbos. El simple present tense, tiempo presente, de todos los verbos excepto el de to be, tienen la misma forma del infinitive. Solo cambia la tercera persona del singular, agregando una S. Usamos este tiempo para describir acciones que ocurren a diario o en general. Veamos algunos ejemplos.
To work. Trabajar. I work. I work from 9 to 5. I work from 9 to 5. You work. You work until 8 tonight. You work until 8 tonight. He, she, it works. He works with you. He works with you. We work. I like when we work together. I like when we work together. You work. Where do you work? Where do you work? They work. They work at the same office. They work at the same office. To speak. Hablar. I speak. I speak 3 languages. I speak 3 languages. You speak? Do you speak English? Do you speak English? He, she, it speaks. She speaks very good English. She speaks very good English. We speak. We speak English, not French. We speak English, not French. You speak. How many languages do you speak? How many languages do you speak? They speak. They speak very loudly. They speak very loudly. To cut. Cortar. I cut. I cut my hair once a month. I cut my hair once a month. You cut. Where do you cut your hair? Where do you cut your hair? He, she, it cuts. It's a small knife, but it cuts everything. It's a small knife, but it cuts everything. We cut. We cut the grass once a month. We cut the grass once a month. You cut. Can you cut a piece for me, please? Can you cut a piece for me, please? They cut. They cut diamonds of any shape. They cut diamonds of any shape.
Aprende de memoria las palabras siguientes y úsalas cada vez que tengas oportunidad de hacerlo. Te aconsejo que uses lo que has aprendido. Poniendo en práctica lo que ya sabes de inglés te ayudará a que avances muy rápido. Observa, escribe, escucha y habla. ¿De acuerdo?
Vocabulary. vocabulario. Since. Repeat since. Until. Until. From. From. Alone. Alone. Together. Together. Separate. Separate. Same. Same. Different. Different. Loud. Loud. Silent. Silent. Soft. Soft. Hard. Hard. Grass. Grass. Peace. Peace. Diamond. Diamond. Shape. Shape. Lesson 39. To be, to have, to do. Como verbos auxiliares. Be and have are used to create several tenses in the English language. Be and have es usan para crear varias formas verbales en inglés. Ejemplo, to be, ser o estar. Progressive tenses. 1. I was studying until 1 a.m. I was studying until 1 a.m. He is writing a letter. He is writing a letter. Passive from. The money is kept in the bank. The money is kept in the bank. The house was sold. The house was sold. To have, tener. Perfect tense. 1. He has lived in the USA since 1999. He has lived in the USA since 1999. 2. They had stopped for gas when the rain started. They had stopped for gas when the rain started. To do is used to create the interrogative and negative of ordinary verbs. Ejemplo. Interrogative form. 1. Do you want an ice cream cone? Do you want an ice cream cone? 2. Did Soledad study in Montreal? Did Soledad study in Montreal? 3. Does Alejandro know Eliana? Does Alejandro know Eliana? Negative form. 1. I don't want an ice cream cone. I don't want an ice cream cone. 2. Soledad didn't study in Montreal. Soledad didn't study in Montreal. 3. Alejandro doesn't know Eliana. Alejandro doesn't know Eliana.
Nota. Fíjate siempre que para hacer negativo un verbo auxiliar, solo le añades la palabra not al final del verbo. También las contracciones aren't, isn't, doesn't, haven't, etc. son usadas frecuentemente para una negación. Ejemplos.
1. Tatiana doesn't like chocolate cookies? Tatiana doesn't like chocolate cookies? 2. She hasn't tried my cookies. She hasn't tried my cookies. 3. You aren't eating my cookies. You aren't eating my cookies. Lesson 40. The affirmative and negative interrogative forms. Ahora veremos cómo se hacen preguntas en forma afirmativa y negativa. To be, ser o estar. Affirmative form. Pregunta afirmativa. Negative form. Pregunta negativa. Am I? Soy, estoy yo. Aren't I? No soy, estoy yo. Are you? Eres, estás tú. Aren't you? No eres, estás tú. Is he, she, it? Is he, she, it? Isn't he, she, it? Isn't she, he, it? Are we? Are we? Aren't we? Aren't we? Are you? Are you? Aren't you? Aren't you? Are they? Are they? Aren't they? Aren't they? To do. Hacer. Affirmative form. Pregunta afirmativa. Pregunta afirmativa. Do I? Do I? Negative form. Pregunta negativa. Don't I? Don't I? Do you? Do you? Don't you? Don't you? Does he, she, it? Does he, she, it? Doesn't he, she, it? Doesn't he, she, it? Do we? Do we? Don't we? Don't we? Do you? Do you? Don't you? Don't you? Do they? Do they? Don't they? Don't they? To have. Tener o haber. Affirmative form. Have I? Negative form. Haven't I? Haven't I? Have you? Have you? Haven't you? Haven't you? Has he, she, it? Has he, she, it? Hasn't he, she, it? Hasn't he, she, it? Have we? Have we? Haven't we? Haven't we? Have you? Have you? Haven't you? Haven't you? Have they? Have they? Haven't they? Haven't they?
meet the great Fernando. You are such a great artist, and I...
Ah, you are a very sweet little muchacha, with a great understanding of a man like me, my little dove.
Tell me more about your adventures, Fernando.
Well,
Tell me about Maria. What happened to her?
well, as you know, Maria was kidnapped by bandits who hid her in an old house. My public. I heard of the kidnapping. I found out where the hideout was. I went to the rescue. I put on my mask. I jumped upon my horse. And with a cry of "Away, Goldie!" I rolled away. Up in the cabin, Maria was desperate. She was about to give up hope. When suddenly, she heard the pounding of my horse's hoofs. And then, then...
The bandits fell back, gasping. It was the great Fernando.
See, it was me, the great Fernando, riding to her rescue with the speed of light. I rode into the mob. I leaped from my horse, using only my whip to disarm the bandits. And while my horse held them at bay, I dashed into the burning building, unafraid. Smoke got in my throat. My throat. It was horrible. See.
But you got to Maria in time.
Yes. I took her into my arms. And as I dashed from the burning building just before it collapsed, she was safe. She had fainted. I kissed her.
And then what happened?
And then came the commercial, and I was continued till next week.
Why is he called the Great Fernando?
Because he's very great man, very strong in radio, like the bull.
Oh, see, like the bull. Now?
Very funny, no? I never thought that here in the country I would meet the great Fernando. You are such a great artist, and I...
Ah, you are a very sweet little muchacha. With a great understanding of a man like me, my little dove.
Tell me more about your adventures, Fernando.
Well,
Tell me about Maria. What happened to her?
well, as you know, Maria was kidnapped by bandits who hid her in an old house. My public. I heard of the kidnapping. I found out where the hideout was. I went to the rescue. I put on my mask. I jumped upon my horse. And with a cry of away, Goldie, I rolled away. Up in the cabin, Maria was desperate. She was about to give up hope. When suddenly, she heard the pounding of my horse's hoofs. And then, then...
The bandits fell back, gasping. It was the great Fernando.
See, it was me, the great Fernando. Riding to her rescue with the speed of light. I rode into the mob. I leaped from my horse. Using only my whip to disarm the bandits. And while my horse held them at bay, I dashed into the burning building, unafraid. Smoke got in my throat. My throat. It was horrible. See. I took her into my arms. And as I dashed from the burning building just before it collapsed, she was safe. She had fainted. I kissed her.
And then what happened?
And then came the commercial. And I was continued till next week.
Why is he called the Great Fernando?
Because he's very great man. Very strong in radio, like a bull.
Oh, see, like the bull.
Lesson 41. En esta lección conjugaremos algunos verbos Primero estudiaremos algunos verbos irregulares. Segundo, algunos verbos regulares. Y tercero, estudiaremos cómo se forma el gerundio del verbo. 1. Verbos irregulares. Fíjate que la tercera persona lleva una S al final en tiempo presente. Infinitive. To buy. Comprar. I. Present. Buy. Past. Bought. Participle. Bought. You. Buy. Bought. Bought. He, she, it buys. Bought. Bought. We buy. Bought. Bought. You buy. Bought. Bought. They buy. Bought. Bought. Infinitive, to eat. Comer. I. Present, eat. Past, ate. Participle, eaten. You. Eat. Ate. Eaten. He, she, it eats. Ate. Eaten. We eat. Ate. Eaten. You eat. Ate. Eaten. They eat. Ate. Eaten. Infinitive, to take. Tomar. I. Present. Take. Past, took. Participle, taken. You. Take. Took. Taken. He, she, it takes. Took. Taken. We take. Took. Taken. You take. Took. Taken. They take. Took. Taken. Infinitive, to say. Decir. I. Present. Say. Past. Said. Participle. Said. You say. Said. Said. He, she, it says. Said. Said. We say. Said. Said. You say. Said. Said. They say. Said. Said. Infinitive, to wake. Desperta. I. Present. Wake. Past. Woke. Participle. Woken. You. Wake. Woke. Woken. He, she, it wakes. Woke. Woken. We wake. Woke. Woken. You wake. Woke. Woken. They wake. Woke. Woken. 2. Verbos regulares. Fíjate que la tercera persona lleva una S en el tiempo presente. Infinitive. To ask. Preguntar. I. Present. Ask. Past. Asked. Participle. Asked. You. Ask. Asked. Asked. He, she, it. Asks. Asked. Asked. We. Ask. Asked. Asked. You. Ask. Asked. Asked. They. Ask. Asked. Asked. Infinitive. To listen. Escuchar. I. Present. Listen. Past. Listened. Participle. Listened. You. Listen. Listened. Listened. He, she, it. Listens. Listened. Listened. We. Listen. Listened. Listened. You. Listen. Listened. Listened. They. Listen. Listened. Listened. Infinitive. To live. Vivir. I. Present. Live. Past. Lived. Participle. Lived. You. Live. Lived. Lived. He, she, it. Lives. Lived. Lived. We. Live. Lived. Lived. You. Live. Lived. Lived. They. Live. Lived. Lived. Infinitive. To talk. Hablar. I. Present. Talk. Past. Talked. Participle. Talked. You. Talk. Talked. Talked. He, she, it. Talks. Talked. Talked. We talk. Talked. Talked. You talk. Talked. Talked. They talk. Talked. Talked. Infinitive. To try. Tratar. I. Present. Try. Past. Tried. Participle. Tried. You. Try. Tried. Tried. He, she, it. Tries. Tried. Tried. We. Try. Tried. Tried. You. Try. Tried. Tried. They. Try. Tried. Tried. Infinitive. To watch. Mirar. I. Present. Watch. Past. Watched. Participle. Watched. You. Watch. Watched. Watched. He, she, it. Watches. Watched. Watched. We. Watch. Watched. watched. You watch, watched, watched. They watch, watched, watched. 3. The gerund. El gerundio. Recuerda que en castellano, verbos con la terminación yendo o ando están en la forma de gerundio, tales como escribiendo, cocinado. En inglés se usa la terminación ing para formar el gerundio. Veamos. To do, hacer. Doing, haciendo. I am doing this for you. Yo estoy haciendo esto para ti. To cook, cocinar. Cooking, cocinando. What are you cooking? ¿Qué estás cocinando? To keep, mantener. Keeping, manteniendo. I am keeping my weight off. Yo estoy manteniendo mi peso. To go, ir. Going, yendo. She is going to Canada. Ella está yendo a Canadá. Nota. Con algunos verbos tenemos que cambiar un poco su raíz antes de poner la terminación ing. Veamos. To let, dejar. Letting, dejando. I am letting you know that I will come to the party. I am letting you know that I will come to the party. To come, venir. Coming, viniendo. What direction are you coming from? What direction are you coming from? To study, estudiar. Studying, estudiando. They are studying together. They are studying together. To complete, completar. Completing, completando. Finally, I am completing my work. Finally, I am completing my work. Lesson 42. Now we are ready to learn more auxiliary verbs. Now we are ready to learn more auxiliary verbs. Will, shall, may, might, can, could, must, to have to, ought to, should, would, used to, in need. 1. Will or shall. Veamos cómo usarlos y la diferencia entre ellos. Will or shall, más el infinitivo del verbo. Son usados para formar el futuro. Veamos. Will indica algo que nos proponemos de hacer en el futuro. Ejemplos. We will go home for Christmas. We will go home for Christmas. I will buy that dress next month. I will buy that dress next month. Simon will sing my song. Simon will sing my song. Carla's boyfriend will be at the party. Carla's boyfriend will be at the party. Shall indica una obligación o promesa de algo que haremos en el futuro. Ejemplos. We shall go home for Christmas. We shall go home for Christmas. I shall buy that dress next month. I shall buy that dress next month. I shall tell all I know. I shall tell all I know. She shall study more for the next test. She shall study more for the next test. 2. May y might. Veamos en qué ocasiones los usamos. May expresa el sentido de permiso o de posibilidad de hacer algo. Ejemplos. Christian may come for dinner tonight. Christian may come for dinner tonight. May I stay at his house tonight? May I stay at his house tonight? Christian may not come for dinner tonight. Christian may not come for dinner tonight. Might. Expresa el sentido de una posibilidad futuro, de hacer algo. Ejemplos. It might snow tomorrow. It might snow tomorrow. We might go next Sunday to visit you. We might go next Sunday to visit you. That wasn't too bad, was it? And if there's anything you didn't understand, you can always rewind the tape. Okay, bye.